Malloy, and keep up the good work. So everyone, if you give a good welcome to Dan Lovallo.
Thank you, Estelle. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, everybody. That would be Daniel 88, by the way.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Now all I need is a radio show to espouse conservatism. And I understand what Deb and Estelle and everybody here has done with we, the people of Connecticut. And I understand that in many respects we are apolitical. But I'm going to be talking this afternoon from the viewpoint of what Chairman Malloy likes to call the right wing, because I am a conservative Republican, and I am proud of it. And I'll say that to anybody, including the governor. Constitution of the United States. Every member of the state legislature, every member of the United States Congress should not only receive a copy of this, they should read it, and read it again. It is the rule book of our country, and it is being violated every day by those who serve in office. Again, I take the Republican side, and I am seeing more and more, both in the state of Connecticut and in the United States, it's the Democrats who are attempting to circumvent the Constitution. And what they're doing is circumventing the will of the people. Connecticut, think about it for just a moment. Connecticut, the Constitution state. Our federal Constitution had its roots in Connecticut. And time again in our state, there are violations of the state Constitution, which we, the people, thank you, Deb and Estelle and everybody, are challenging. And we are seeing it at the federal level. Nothing has been mentioned during this campaign so far, and I would hope that somebody brings it up at some point in the debates or wherever about Obama's czars. Have you heard any conversation about the czars lately? Well, what was this move? Why the czars? The czars were an effort to circumvent the United States Constitution and, by the way, to do an end around the United States Congress. Because, as you know, cabinet officials must be approved by the United States Congress. Well, that was a mere formality for the President of the United States. Let's hire a czar for this, a czar for that, a czar for this. In addition to what it's costing us as taxpayers, it is a violation of the United States Constitution. I wish somebody would make a bigger deal out of this and make a big deal out of it during this campaign.
We are.
Great. At the state level, we've seen it with the executive orders. And time again, this governor, the Emperor of Connecticut, the President of Connecticut, the Governor of Connecticut, who fancies himself really the President of Connecticut. He's in China now. He was where? In Switzerland before that. He's everywhere but Connecticut, which is a good and bad thing. If he's not in Connecticut, there's less of a chance he's going to wreak havoc on the state. But when he is in Connecticut, all he does is flaunt the Constitution. Not only in the case of what you talked about, Deb, how about in the case of Bridgeport, where the state went in and essentially took over the Bridgeport school system, which is a violation of the state Constitution. There is still local control over education, although we continue to lose that day after day. Not a problem with Governor Malloy and his minions in the Democrat Party who dominate the General Assembly. All they need to do is pass a law, make it retroactive, and all is okay. There's no violation of the Constitution. Don't bring it before the voters. Don't bring it before the General Assembly for a vote. Don't present it in the form of legislation. Just do it, make it retroactive, and all is okay. Time and time again, we are seeing this with this administration. This is one of the dangers, by the way, of one-party rule. And maybe our founding fathers had it right. Washington was not a fan of political parties. Maybe he had something. But our founding fathers, just tremendous people who had the vision, who had the foresight to see that we as a nation would change, but that we should be governed by the United States Constitution. That's why they put the apparatus in place to amend the Constitution. But they didn't make it easy to amend the Constitution because they understood that opinion could change like that. And let's face it, the country, when you put together a Constitution, needs a rule book that is flexible but formidable so that it cannot change just like that. Thus, you want to change the Constitution to fit the times? Yes, the apparatus is in place, but you're going to have to work at it. The people today don't want to work at it. They want to do an end around with the United States Constitution. You think it's just what we talked about in regard to the czars? How about what they want to do with the Electoral College? Are you following that? This is major on how they want to change the election of the President of the United States. As you know, we currently elect the President by way of the Electoral College. I happen to think it's a great system. I happen to think the Founding Fathers showed their vision in the creation of the Electoral College, so that one region of the country would have at least some say in comparison to another region of the country which might not have the population density. Very visionary. But as you know, there has been talk in this country for years, particularly since the 2000 election, you need to elect the president by way of a popular vote. Okay, I'm willing to have that debate. Let's have it out in the open. If you want to change the Constitution so that we elect the President of the United States by way of a popular vote, let's have the debate. Let the people decide by way of the states, and if it comes up with the 2/3 of the states changing it to the popular vote, then we have amended the Constitution. The people who are in support of a popular vote, they don't want that. They don't want that kind of a debate. They again want to circumvent the Constitution with this national popular vote movement. How many people are aware of the national popular vote? For those who are not, this is also an issue in the state of Connecticut, thanks to State Representative Andrew Fleischman. This movement started in San Francisco in the aftermath of the 2000 election. And the movement is such whereby if a state takes its popular vote, and let's say the popular vote goes, in the case of the state of Connecticut, in favor of, dare I say, Mitt Romney, okay? Well, the state of Connecticut has how many electoral votes? 7, right? We've got 5 congressmen, 2 senators. Well, Mitt Romney would get Connecticut's 7 electoral votes. But let's say President Barack Obama wins the national vote by way of the Electoral College. Well, under the national popular vote, all 7 of those electoral votes would go to Barack Obama, not to Mitt Romney. That is wrong. And the movement behind this national popular vote is, well, we have to be on the winning side of any election, otherwise the winning side on the national level will take it out on the state of Connecticut if we are not on the winning side with the electoral vote. That is wrong. That is a way of circumventing the United States Constitution. This was a front burner issue in Connecticut 2 years ago. They put it on the back burner this past year. I will guarantee you, particularly if the Democrats win the election both in Connecticut and at the federal level, it'll be on the front burner again. It's wrong because that is not how you go about amending the United States Constitution. I had a Democratic town committee member in Connecticut tell me not too long ago, the Constitution is outdated. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Democratic town committee chairman. I said, if it's outdated, then amend it. But until such time as it's amended, it's very much our Constitution. It is the rule book of our country, and we must follow it. Again, the Founding Fathers. The Founding Fathers had the vision to understand if you want to change the Constitution, the process is in place. But do not circumvent it. And that's what is happening in our country and in our state. And it's not by coincidence that the current governor happens to be from the same party as the current president. And time again, we see Daniel 88 undergoing various approaches to bring about his way that are very reminiscent to what we are seeing at the federal level with the President of the United States. Think about it for just a moment, by the way. And this is what really has me concerned about the direction of our country. We've got a governor, particularly, a governor who disparages those who disagree with him. If you are a Republican, you are a member of the extreme right wing. Proud of it, by the way, but don't you just love the Democrats who always accuse Republicans